Dylan, congratulations, the first win on the World Championship stage. What does that mean to you?
It means the world, really. I think coming up to the, we'll say, the qualifiers. Like my tour card was on the cusp. We'll say, if I had to get to the Worlds, to save it, So, and I wasn't really thinking about my tour card at that game, but it's in the back of your brain. And luckily I got over the line. That was, I said it to the lads out there. I said I never want to go through that again, playing Willie or any of the Irish lads, Brendan, Mickey or anything like that. That was the hardest game of my life.
And you mentioned there coming through the tour card holder qualifier. How much momentum has that given you coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I was very happy with how I played. 200 averages in the first two games. I'm not really. I haven't been hitting high numbers, So to do that, it's gave me a small bit of confidence, And then when I seen the draw that I was playing Willie, that was just kicking the teeth again. I was back down to square one, so I had to try and get myself up for that. But just happy to be through. That's all I can say.
And you've gained more big stage experience this year on the big stage, on the European tour. How valuable has that been for your development?
Yeah, my first year I think I was at 8 or 9 Euro tours, and I know I didn't do. I think I got to the second round in 2 of them, But first year, you're learning. I'm 22 now. I was 21 then, but I'm only young. I've my whole life ahead of me. So. And coming here last year, it was a big help, to get the experience on that stage and just to know what was coming my way, if the crowd were going to be with me or against me, and I just learned from it last year. So I think that experience last year got me over the line as well.
And Dimitri van den Bergh, up next for you. What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, look, I don't think I've played Dimitri this year, or even I don't even think I played him in the first 2 years of my tour card. I think I was meant to play him last year if I got through the first round, but look, I didn't get through. So look, we'll regroup myself for tomorrow. I'll gather me thoughts and I'll forget about this game today. I'm still even shaking. It's still at me. But look. Hopefully I can bring my A game for Sunday evening, and hopefully I can get over the line and come back after Christmas.
Thanks, Dylan. Well done.
No problem.
Dylan, congratulations. The way you burst onto the scene, everyone was talking about you when you went and got your tour card. You were the sure one to get through, and you duly did. Have you been disappointed that you haven't been able to kick on in these 2 years and your tour card was on the line?
Yeah, getting top in Q school, it's. I'll be completely honest with you. I was manager Matt there. He asked me are we going to Q school when I was going, and I said, look, I have a broken foot. I'm not too sure what's going on. So he said, look, we'll put you in. If you're going, you're going, and if you're not, you're not. That's fine. So went anyway, and I was only going to get experience playing with PDC. Trying to get tour card, but I was more so faced on Challenge Tour for that year. And got through on the Monday, and I was like, right, we could be onto something here, Then I started thinking about tour cards, And when I got it, it was amazing, it's every young man's dream to be the best 100, to be one of the best of the 128 in the world, But I haven't really got two second rounds on the Euro Tour, I'm going to put in a massive amount of effort for next year, and hopefully I can go far in a few tournaments.
During the game, obviously you've got quite an aggressive throw and you throw an aggressive point. Your points were scuffing up the board a little bit. Were you worried that you were going to be the first to fall foul of the new point rule?
No, I wasn't really, to be honest. It does be there, you're thinking oh, you're going to get in trouble and all that, But no, I'm going to try and change up my equipment, for next year. Just try a few new things, because I've always been basic, standard flight, standard stem, and then just whatever point I like to throw it, So I'm going to try and use new equipment for next year. So hopefully that'll make me better next year.
And just on Irish darts, you spoke about obviously how close you are with all the others and There's plenty of you on tour now. Is this the strongest Irish darts has been, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. Like, do you know, I think Keane is number one at the moment. I think, like Keane has been on tour for what, 3 years. Like, do you know, like, and like looking back at 2017, like I was playing a Europe Cup with him. Like, do you know, it's amazing how far I've come and how far he has come as well. Like, do you know, so, and sure, well, Mickey's Northern Irish, but class himself as Irish. We don't know what's going on there. But yeah, no, it's like, I hope to play with one of them at the World Cup, do you know, someday. And hopefully we can bring the World Cup, like Steve and Willie got to the final. Hopefully Willie or Keane, doesn't matter, like, do you know, I get on with the two of them, like, and hopefully we can bring that World Cup home someday.
Dylan, well done on the win. How difficult is it playing someone you're so close with up on that stage? Because there is so much on the line here when you play at the World Championship. Yeah,
like, do you know, Willie took me under his wing, like, that's all I can say. Do you know, from day one of the first pro tour, like, he gave me tips, everything, like, do you know, what to do, what not to do, how to read people, do you know, that sort of way. And like, as I said, like, that was like, I never want to go through that again, like, do you know. It was like, it was good getting the win, but at the same time, like, it was, you feel bad for him, like, do you know, because he wants to win also, and I've been a big fan of Willie, even growing up watching Willie at the Worlds, like, so it was just the hardest thing ever.
You talked about your sort of progression over the last couple of years on tour. Where do you think your ceiling is, and how much more improvement can we see in the next couple of years, do you think?
I hope there's a lot of improvement, do you know. Going far in tournaments is kind of what I want to try and do, like, do you know. So hopefully next year, this, after the World, spurs me on, second round, third round, whatever it is, going to put in so much, 100%, 110% for next year, do you know, because you have to, like, the standard of darts nowadays it's gone through the roof, like, everyone's hitting 100 average, and then I'm just sitting there with a 92, do you know, so I have to put in the effort, like, so that's it.
Well done, Dylan, on a hard-fought victory. We know that Willie O'Connor has one of the best walk-on songs, and it really gets the crowd. What's the emotion like on stage when do you have to try and block that out, because it's one of those that really does get him, the crowd, and the entire Alexandra Palace really fired up? Yeah, he's Limerick, I'm Tipperary. That song's a Limerick song, but I also love that song because obviously we're both Irish, like, you know, it's what our Irish rugby team uses. So, like, at some parts I wanted to block it out, but some parts I wanted to get the experience of a good walk-on song, like, you know, like Michael Van Gerwen's walk-on song is probably one of the best, if not. So, like, to hear the crowd, like, it was like I was a concert and I was just up at the stage singing it, like, you know, like, I was mumbling away, like, you know, but like, it's just amazing, like that. And it fits his character as well, like, being from Limerick, you know, but like, it wasn't as good as the Premier League whenever he played it, but like, that was probably this, I really enjoyed being there for that walk on, you know, so. In a sport of fine margins where little things can make a difference, how important is having a good walker? Because Luke Humphries has spoken this week as well about how important it was to his game on the stage, changing his walk on and getting a song that really feels something to him. Is that something that players look at now, just try and get that maybe 0.5% extra?
Yeah, it's mainly to get the crowd on your side, like, you know. Well, that's what I think it is. But for me, the hardest thing is the walk on, like, because you don't know how the crowd are going to react, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad, if you're going to be walking up onto the stage looking out and no one is singing it, like, you're just mumbling it to yourself, you know. But yeah, no, like, I'd say 99% of the walk on is just try to get the fans on your side, like, you know. And I had a few supporters out there, so hopefully they're here Sunday, egging me on again. And thank God it's not another Irish player I'm playing, because that was gruesome.
Brilliant, Dylan. Thanks very much.
No problem.